Hey, how you doing guys? Packers and One here with another GTFO video, and today I have a detailed weapon guide on the combat shotgun. Now when I go over these detailed guides, I like to break them up into three separate parts. So the first part is the description, and this is where we'll take a look at its ammo capacity, its damage, and any of that sort of information. The second part will be the pros and cons of the weapon, and the third part will be me actually using the weapon against the different types of enemies within the game. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, when it comes to describing the weapon, this combat shotgun has a specific name just like the other guns in the game, and it's called the Buckland AF6 Combat Shotgun. However, most players are just going to refer to it as the combat shotgun. Now, this gun is considered a special weapon and has a max ammo capacity of 56 shotgun shells, and that 56 does include the magazine. Now, speaking of the magazine, each one can hold up to 10 shotgun shells of ammo. It has high damage and also a medium rate of fire due to it being a fully automatic weapon. And lastly, the range is short, just like any other shotgun, which means you're going to want to get pretty close to the enemies in order to do the most damage. So let's talk about some of the pros and cons of the combat shotgun, starting with the pros. Now, number one on the list is that the combat shotgun has pretty high damage. Of course, with it being a shotgun, it only has high damage when you are close to your enemies. But with that being said, this gun just pretty much obliterates anything close by. You won't have any issues with taking out the small strikers and shooters, as well as the big strikers and shooters. The second pro is that it has a good amount of ammo in both total capacity and magazine capacity. But in particular, the 10 shell magazine is the better half when it comes to the ammo situation. This gun, 1 or 2 shots the smaller guys, which means if you're accurate, you can take out about 5 to 10 enemies with just one magazine, which is really helpful when dealing with the hordes. The third pro is that it's fully automatic, which means you can just completely unload into the big strikers and the shooters and take them out really quickly. The fourth and last pro is that you can use this gun from a hipfire position, which means that you don't need to aim down the sights. This is one of the only guns in the game where you can actually do that while still being accurate with your shots. Now, this is really helpful when dealing with hordes because you're not losing access to your peripheral vision, which you normally would when aiming down a scope or a sight. You'll be able to shoot this weapon while still being able to see your surroundings, which prevents getting blindsided by an enemy. Now let's take a look at the cons, or I should say the one con. There is really only one that I could think of that restricts this gun, and that con would be that it has a short range. Now, as I said before, if you want to do any sort of damage with the combat shotgun, you have to be up close. But this should be expected when bringing a shotgun. In fact, many of you guys might not even consider its short range to be a con at all. At the end of the day, that's what this gun's purpose is. It's for a short range and to deal a ton of damage. So before I show the combat shotgun in action, I just want to let you guys know that during this section of the gameplay, you're going to notice that my health isn't decreasing, I'm not flinching, and that I have a really high amount of ammo. That is because I'm using mods in order to speed up the process of acquiring the footage that I needed. I highly recommend not using mods when playing this game. It definitely does take away some of the fundamental mechanics that make this game a lot of fun. If you are going to use mods, just use them in a single player setting like I'm doing in this footage, or if you are playing with a group of friends that are okay with it. Now let's get on to the testing. Alright, and to start off with, I have a small striker, so for the head it's just one shot, so this gun obliterates these guys with just one shot to the head. And for this guy, it took about 3 shots in total. However, I wasn't fully aiming for the torso, so from other testing, I was able to kill these small guys within 1 to 2 shots on average. And for this test, I have 2 big strikers, and so for the first guy, I wanted to aim for the head to figure out how many shots it would take. So it takes about 2 shots to knock his head off, and then you have to continue shooting him in the torso to kill him. Even when you take off the head, they are not dead yet. So for this guy, I had to go through an entire clip, which was 10 bullets, or 10 shells I should say. I have to fully reload, shoot one more time to take him out. So for the guy, two headshots, and the other shots were to the torso. For the next guy, I was only aiming at the torso, and as you can see, I'm shooting him and he stumbles back. So shooting these guys, they will stumble. I go through an entire clip, have to reload, and to finish this guy off, it only takes one more bullet. So for both enemies, it took around 11 shots to kill them. And for the next test, I was able to get a scout cornered. I wanted to see how many headshots it would take. So it only took one to knock its head off and only one more shot to actually kill it. So for these guys, it takes 2 shots. So these guys are pretty easy to kill. And the last test will be on the charger. So just to do a general shooting here, we're going to shoot him once, twice, and it only took about 3 bullets to kill this guy. So these guys are pretty easy to take out as well. So when it comes to the shadow guys, I chose not to include gameplay of them for 2 reasons. The first reason is because they are invisible, and the only way to show the effectiveness of the gun is by hit markers, and those can be a little difficult to see. But mainly the second reason is because the shadow guys have the exact same health as the regular strikers and the regular shooters, so it should cost the same amount of ammunition to take them down. Alright guys, that's going to be a wrap for this video on the combat shotgun. I hope this video and my other ones help you guys decide which weapons are right for you and the rundown mission you guys are playing. So stay tuned for some more of these weapon guides and in-depth videos. And as always, thanks for watching. This is Packers NY, and I'll see you in the next one.